before we kick it off?
I'm just saying hi, everybody. We don't got Doritos tonight or Essence. Happy birthday, Essence.
Happy birthday.
Because it's a lot going on, so we choose to stand with everybody. We choose to also dig deeper, to educate ourselves, to understand what it is we need to do moving forward. And as a mother, as a sister, as a woman, period, there's women out there who don't have children and they feel this because we were created a certain way. And so it's been really, really heavy. We were putting something together, which we're still going to do, but we postponed it. And everybody in my band agreed. And on the team agreed to postpone it. So we didn't do Table Talk last Tuesday. Yeah. And we didn't do it this Tuesday because everybody was taking a stance. And so we decided we would do it this Wednesday. And not hold you long, but just kind of drop some stuff that's been in his spirit and my spirit. I'm kind of going to be a little more quiet, though, because I carry things different. So I have something to say, but not much, because it's just been really heavy. So
let's dive into it. This is something that we wrote on this end. I think it'll speak for itself. Change, the type of lasting change that we as a people desire, will not come from outside sources until it has taken root and has been birthed from within each and every one of us first. By that we mean that, yes, there are clearly laws in place that need to be amended, oppressive systems that need to be disrupted, racial double standards that must be uprooted, racist cops that need to be exposed, removed, and charged accordingly, media propagated motives that can no longer be given access into our homes and mindsets at the cost of our dollars. We are beyond tired, enraged, and unwilling to accept any more excuses regarding equality, which is ordained by God and cannot be delegated and rationed out by any man. Inside of a nation that was built on our backs, our creativity, and only repaid with unjustified bloodshed. And while our country is once again facing unrest and social turbulence, we also cannot allow this opportunity to pass without shedding more light on these current events and address the unspoken hard truth that some seem unwilling to address on their platforms. Our covenant with our Heavenly Father was established when He empowered us black people with the name Israel and labeled us as His peculiar people. And the etymology of peculiar means belonging exclusively to one being, special in particular. And He also laid out the blessings and curses that we can expect if we chose to disobey His commandments. While we are hurting, exhausted, and boiling with emotion, we must also understand that our opposition not only knows our true identity, but have also become masters of our weaknesses and intentionally structure systems to entangle us in sin, which is the only force on this earth that can prevent us from operating in our true power. Sadly, they seem to know more about us than we do ourselves at times. So in no way are we aiming to divert the much needed and overdue attention away from the situation at hand with these unarmed. And we fully stand with all of the families of those who have been slain and the protesters around the globe who, like us, are frustrated, angry, and tired of not only the unjustified, but also the slow response in arresting and convicting those responsible. What is violently taking place with every one of these senseless of our brothers and sisters is madness and completely evil. However, because we only seem to unite at this level of magnitude when we are being killed by someone outside of our own race, we must take advantage of this because we may not have another great opportunity such as this to address certain points. And in closing, after justice has been served for the death of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, David McAddy, Ahmaud Arbery, and the countless others who will never be forgotten, we as a people still face an even greater obstacle to overcome, and that's facing how we unite once again toward the mission of loving ourselves and each other. So, I know she touched on it at the top of it. I know you're heavy. But how do you feel when you look out, when you see the posts, you listen to the news, talk to friends and family, being a woman, being a mother, having lost a nephew? How has this hit you?
For me, I just think about the older mothers who came before me. We lost a lot of our older mothers. My grandmother's gone. Like, we used to sit and talk to the older mothers, and they shipping up out of here. Because it's like a foreign country to them. Even though most of our older mothers seen a lot of stuff growing up, they fought to create so much change for their children and their children's children and their children and their children. To see this stuff, like, racism has been around. It just hasn't been on the forefront like it is now. Like, we've had so many people to lose their lives. A police officer, I can't remember the man that was just a security guard in the neighborhood, and a young man lost his life because he was wearing a hoodie.
Trey Ball.
Yeah. To see it be so in our face right now, the older people are just shipping up out of here because they can't take it. They don't understand it. I said, when we don't have them anymore, as a young generation, we just ready to what we be like, what's good? What's good? Like, we tired, we angry, we ain't never seen this. Like the older generation, my grandma and them, they seen it before. They they had dealt with some of that type of stuff. But we ain't never dealt with that before. So to see it, how it happened on the video, and it was just like literally a man crying out. To see the officer in his stance and how he just, oh man, like, the world is angry. So with that being said, again, as a woman and as a mother, it ain't no difference from, like, we sit our sons down. My son is only 8. He's not old enough, but I have nephews whom are out there trying to find their way, whom I can't even get on the phone right now because if I could, they so full of, they angry. There's nothing really I can say.
Yeah.
But most mothers are sitting their kids down, and we be like, don't you go out there, don't you? Cause why we saying that? Because we want our children to survive. Like, I need you to survive. I need you to live. I need to be able to touch you. I need to see you to grow old and see it. You have children and your children have children. Like, I want you here. Like, my heart just goes out to his mother. Every mother that has lost a child, Brianna's mother. Like, I'm just lost for words because it's almost like I want to say we shouldn't do this and we shouldn't do that, and we shouldn't do certain things, but we're angry. And we ain't used to this. Even though racism has been around.
Yeah.
We're not used to this. We wasn't raised up. We didn't see that.
All right.
So we want answers. Matter of fact, excuse my language, answers. We don't want answers. We want change. Excuse my language. But that's how I mean it, like that. Like, we don't want no answers. We want change. We want to be treated like we're supposed to be treated. But because now I've educated myself and I understand who I am, biblically, like spiritually, the true Israelite, I'm not sure if change is ever going to come on that end. So now my thing is I'm pleading that change will come amongst amongst God's chosen one. I had somebody come up on my page the other day and was like, and I never read my comments, but since all this has been going on, I kind of read because sometimes I have other celebrities or other people hit me in DMs and stuff I normally don't check to ask me to be a part of stuff or just checking up on me, and we're checking up on each other. And so I saw the person say, we're all God's children. And yeah, we are. But he has his tribe, his chosen one. And I know who I am. And that's what I was talking about. And so in order to know what I was talking about, you got to study that, to show that stuff. You got to study. We got to get in the book. We cannot depend on the law of the land. We cannot depend on the government. We cannot depend on certain things. We got to depend on the book. What's the book? That's the word. That's the Bible.
Right.
That's my little 2 cents.
And I feel you, because my son Trey, he great turned 24, and that's a call. Not only what I never want to get, but I'm not going to get. So the focus is a little less on him, because he knows how to navigate. And when he was young, he was actually in the car with me a couple times, and I was pulled over. And I remember one time I had Trey in the car with me, and I got pulled over. I got arrested. My mom had to come get him out the car, and he's seen some things. And so our focus is making sure that Kyan and Cohen,
don't have to see
our grandsons.
But
we have to be honest and have these conversations. I think sometimes we raise our children hoping for the best, and we move into certain communities and we do certain things to try to hide them from the ugliness of the world. But at the same time, they have to be prepared, because one of the worst things we could do is present a life to them that's only inside of a cubicle, and then when they step out there, they hit with it, and they can't respond, they can't react, they can't process. We have to have these tough conversations no more than now. We used to be able to talk to our kids about sex when they got 13, 14, but now schools are taking it upon themselves to start telling your kid their opinion of sex at 5 years old and 6 years old. We have to own our kids' mindsets. And I don't want to get off track, but we have children, and we have to make sure that they're prepared in case something ever happens to me, something ever happens to us, that they got some jewels that they can carry.
And my true opinion is, I'm going to pretend this was the book, the Bible. This is the only way to do it.
That's right.
It's digging deep,
I think we have to do both, and we really gonna get to that on that covenant piece.
When you mean both, what do you mean? Both what?
After you get off your knees, you got to move your feet, and so.
Right, I'm saying, stay on your knees. And I'm also saying be down to earth with your kids. That's the one thing that I loved about my mother and my grandmother. They weren't so holy that they couldn't have a regular conversation.
Facts.
Be down to earth with your kids, but go back to the book to make sure
that's the foundation.
Pretty much, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm with you. The Bible is the foundation, and there's no point in knowing our identity and who we are if we're not going to abide by the requirements that come with it. And that's why we chose culture versus covenant, because some of the things that we've adopted in our culture are hindering us from walking in the full power of who we are. And I want to get to that, so I have only 2 more questions. So what are your thoughts on how we responded? I'm seeing people in Paris and France and all over the world.
Be careful when you ask me what's my response, because mine end up everywhere. Breakfast Club. I'm gonna be honest.
Everybody's being honest right now, and we're probably saying things that we've been trying to be politically correct and all of that stuff. But I
got teary-eyed seeing certain I got teary-eyed seeing the marches and seeing how many people came out. I got teary-eyed all over the world. I got so teary-eyed. Now, my thing was, if we could just take all those people and put the book with it,
and
to understand what we could do. Do you understand? They know who we are.
Correct.
So, my thoughts.
Just on how we responded, what you're saying, because we gotta build up.
I didn't like the fact that our people was looting an hour. And I got it though. I get it though. I get it. And I'm not also saying go loot and do the fancy stores, but I'm saying don't loot ours. Because we work so hard for that. I was reading an article about the Black Wall Street, and they set it on fire, and so they know,
wake up,
it belongs to us. That's the only thing I would say.
Another thing to piggyback, not to cut your wisdom, but we all saw the videos when there were people outside of our race
looting,
starting the looting, carefully, strategically putting bricks in place.
That was intentional.
All of that
was intentional to start it off and piss us off and make us look a certain way. So my thing is, yeah.
But you'll catch them on IG and not social media, but you'll see us on CNN.
Pretty much.
Wake up.
Pretty much, because it's because like we powerful, you know. Like, look, at the end of the day, I'm saying like, don't tear out what we build. And I asked you one day, and I know somebody, you don't know this, but I googled it. I was like, yo, what does, when you mix the color red and blue, what does it make? And I thought I was for sure it was the color brown, but it's like, I looked it up, I think it's like purple, violet, or something like that. But I asked him that question because I feel like if all of our, you know, we got like red and blue, the gangs and everybody, like if we all came together.
We got so many sects. You got
sects,
red, blue,
you call it?
you got the Nation of Islam, you got the people of faith and Christianity.
If the sects all came together. We got one
common gang that we got in common.
And that's
your skin tone.
That's your
heritage.
And I was like, yo, if we linked up and we stood powerful and strong and got in our book and abided by our Father's laws, not the laws of the world, like, man.
Facts.
Our Father's laws, then I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, anybody, but I read my book too much, and I know that I dream too much, and I know that I have a connection with God, and He speaks to me, and I feel Him, and I know that He lives, He's real. I believe He can work those type of miracles that He used to work back in the Bible days when He was parting Red Seas, when He was making bushes burn for Moses, when He sent plagues to Pharaoh.
But see, the thing is, God is not less powerful than He was back then.
I know it.
God has not changed.
I know it.
We have moved.
We got to line up.
We have fallen in love with unrighteousness, and we can't have unrighteous lifestyles that are deep in our culture and expect God to move on our behalf, because once again, God has not changed. He's not going to bend the law and cut corners just because we are His peculiar. We have to get in position, and we have to get in line and make some tremendous sacrifices in order to have something war on our behalf that's greater than this earth we live in. And we great jump dead into that. The last thing on that particular piece, we're going to get out of culture and get into covenant.
You know what? I know.
No, take your time.
You know what? What's so crazy to me? I was like, I was guilty of this at one point. Like, do you notice, like, we only pray when we're going through something?
Oh, I'm about to get to that.
So, like...
Oh, I'm about to dive deep.
So, like, I used to remember, like, when I first went Idol and I first started gigging and partying and clubbing, and we would dance all night, drink all night, dance all night, spend money on this, spend money on that. Next morning, for me, you want me to be honest?
Back in church.
Now I'm talking about when I went Idol.
Oh, Idol, my bad.
Yeah, that was...
45.
Yeah. Next morning, we were sleeping to get ready to do it again another night.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I'm trying to get to is that if we spent that much time on our knees and praying, now I ain't saying we got to be so deep. Like, you can still have fun. It living and walking up under His word and His laws. It's still fun. We have fun, right? You think it's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, like, now is the time when we should be on our knees worshiping, other than fighting with each other on social media, battling with each other. Because that's the other thing that I want to see stop is, if we're going to stand up with each other, we got to stop fighting each other too.
That's our culture.
I know, but we got to break that. It's not. It's only our culture because they created it. And that started back in Willie, like, that's back in they created that to put us against the dark skin against the light skin, and light skin
against... We think the way that we think, and it's an amazing thing when you come into the understanding that the way you think, they're not your thoughts. That our thoughts are being programmed, they are being systematically placed in our head, and we're adopting them.
Pretty much.
But they're not our thoughts, they're not our ways.
So that's all I'm saying is, like, if we spent that much time digging deeper to educate ourselves and find out who we really are, we can stand up against them in a way where they're gonna be like, what the, hold up.
Honestly, be honest, if we knew how to remain collective and unified, we don't have to stand against anything. Because we're in all the positions that we need to be in, but we're segmented.
The sad part is we do. But then somebody comes out the blue, like some of the videos that I've been watching, and it's one cop or it's one dum-dum that like when you told me the man they shot in somebody's car.
Yeah, it was, they just caught them cats.
For no
young
reason.
Man and his wife heading home.
They was headed home.
3 minutes after curfew.
So it's almost like when stuff starts to happen, even when we're standing, they piss us off again. That's why I keep going back to the fact that We gotta stand and get up under the word so we know when those things happen that we don't have it. Who was that? David in the Bible? No. Who was that? Peter? When they came after Jesus, Peter was ready to get down with the get down.
Oh, yeah, you slicing ears.
Jesus was like, hey, chill out. Now it's
slicing ear off.
hard.
Can you hear me now?
Like I always say to you, I think I said this one time in Taylor's Talk, it's hard to turn the other cheek. That is hard.
Facts.
To turn the other cheek. Especially after you done hit me several times in my face, bro. I don't know. It's hard.